April and I and Gabe and Jill ended up becoming partners in this business. It's exactly how it happened. And, so don't take it lightly. I told April when she come down, I said, that's one of the best trainings I've ever heard you do. And I think it's got, we've known each other since we're 13 years old. Okay. So it was just very, very good information. And what I'm going to talk to you about today, and I'm going to, let's see. I want to get to a few slides that I want to use this morning. So let me just go to that. And okay, there's two topics I want to talk to you about today. And one is understanding the value of third-party validation. And then the second part of this is helping you understand when a person is really in this business, okay? When they're really in. And, it's two conversations that I've had a number of times this week with different members, of our team. And one of the things that we've learned over the years is that if we're having these conversations more than once, okay, with members of our teams, whether it's in Europe, whether it's in California, whether it's in wherever it might be, it's probably a good time to train on it, okay? Because nobody is experiencing things in this business alone. Every one of us goes through the same stuff in this business every day. Some more than others because some are more active than others, but we all go through it. And one of the greatest tools that we have, and you'll see at the top, it says, do you use third-party validation? Okay, and why do we use third-party validation? And Rebecca did a great job, and I want to share something with you. Most of April and I are very, very close with Dr. Moshe Deckel. Okay, he's like a brother to us, okay? We're very close, we love him, he's like family. And it's really funny because he's doing some advertising, in medical stuff to do some cold market doctor recruiting. And I know he called, and I know Rebecca, did it with him, but he used Rebecca as third-party validation. One doctor using another doctor to speak to a prospect doctor for third-party validation. So I want you, everybody listening, I want to try and get you to understand this maybe a little bit differently than you've thought about it before, okay? It's a very underutilized tool that's available to all of us for free, and it's a very important part of the LifeVantage system. LifeVantage has a system for success, and it's a very important tool, and most do not use it. And here's what goes on, okay? Why most distributors don't use it. And there's a number of reasons, okay, that goes on. One of them, their ego. Like, hey, I can get this done on my own. I don't need to bring a third party in, okay? Wrong. You're wrong. I'm telling you right now, you're wrong, okay? Failure, okay? I mean, just fear of failure in general. Okay, it's fear of being rejected, whatever it is. But a lot of people think that they're being bothersome. They're bothering their sponsor, their upline, or whoever. And it's not always your sponsor or your upline. It could be cross-line. Dr. Glasser, is not in the same line. We're all part of Gabe and Jill's group. Okay, but Dr. Glasser is in a totally different leg than me, April, and Moshe. Okay, so the third-party validation doesn't necessarily come from your upline, downline. It could be cross-line. It could be anybody's line. Okay, so a lot of people think it's bothersome, like they're bothering you. Okay, and the reason they think that, and I want to tell you because I said this a number of times in the last couple of weeks to different people. Okay, is when now this is within the same line, okay, but I was talking to someone on our team and I said this, when you use me or April as third-party validation, You are providing us, you are giving us an opportunity to earn money. And at the same time, you're providing us an opportunity to help you earn money. So don't deny me the opportunity to earn money. If I can validate for you, use me. Okay, I bet you haven't looked at it that way. You say, oh, you know, I don't want to bother Bobby. He's busy. He's got people all over the world. I don't want to bother April. But no. Okay, when you make that decision on your own, you are choosing to deny us an opportunity to earn money by helping you build your business so you can earn money. Okay, it doesn't make any sense. See, there's a lack of understanding with this business when it comes to third-party validation. It's part of the system. We're not supposed to go it alone. Okay, you say, yeah, but you know, I get it's LifeVantage system for success, but you know, I can close people on my own. Good. Okay, good. But how many of them are opening up their warm market to you? How many of them really like what you did to them? Do you find a lot of the distributors you bring into the business, you know, just kind of never launch, you know, and you're trying to figure out why? Okay, they may be looking at, hey, man, you know, Gabe is really good. You know, I mean, look, he got me to do this, okay? I'm not an easy sell, okay? He's good, okay? But I don't know what he knows, and I certainly can't explain it that way. You know, I'm new, you know, Gabe don't talk about it a whole bunch, but I've heard he's got a master's in nutrition. You know, and you got to realize these are the things that go through a person's head, okay? A new distributor's head, a new person that's just signed up. And here's what happens. If Gabe didn't bring a third party into the situation, see, Gabe should bring somebody in that's a little different than him. See, if I were Gabe, I'd either bring a female into the equation, especially if the new recruit was a female, okay? But if it was another male, I'd bring in somebody different that maybe didn't have the same kind of education. I would be a good match for Gabe because I didn't go to college, okay? I've been self-employed since I'm about 12 years old, okay? So I'm in a different category as far as that goes. I'd use a Bob Triglia kind of personality, okay? He's a funny guy. He's easy to be around. He's easy to listen to. Gabe's intense. Now I can be intense too. I'm not as intense as Gabe, okay? But I can be intense. But you got to realize what's going on when you use third-party validation, okay? And this is what I mean, okay? Understanding it, okay? Understanding what it's all about. Like, why should we use it, okay? Let's say you're getting people to enroll on your own. Why should you use it? Well, it's a chance to prove to that new person that everything that you said or everything we said is true. You're giving a third person an opportunity to come in and validate everything that you said to be true. It's not just coming out of your mouth. It shows that there's a team and it's not just an individual thing. Okay, and if you pick the right person for third party, it's balancing. You're going to see a kind of a different combination of personalities that can do it, okay? So it balances things out, okay? It gives the validator a chance to brag on you. You know, it's always better for somebody, and Gabe's masterful at this with, you know, with these virtual meetings and his opportunity presentations on Mondays and stuff like that, with bragging on the person that you're about to hear from. What does that do for that person? It doesn't put them in an awkward situation where they need to talk about themselves. Okay, so it gives them a chance. You know, if I'm going to get Gabe on the phone with someone, they're going to know, hey, you know, this guy hit Pro 10 in this company. You know, that's about $1 million a year in earnings. And you don't need to take my word for it, but just look at the Yahoo Finance. the profit, the earnings statement, okay? And just read it for yourself. Just go to Pro 10 and you'll see the numbers. It gives that person a chance to brag on you so you don't need to brag on yourself, okay? It shows how easy the business is. See, here's what happens with new people, especially you take a plastic surgeon like Rebecca, okay? You take somebody like Gabe that actually has a master's in nutrition and came from the health club fitness industry, okay? I could see people thinking, oh, I need to get a little bit more familiar with this stuff before I talk to anybody. I need to know a little bit more about the product before I talk to anybody. I need to know how we get paid before I talk to anybody. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Okay, it's all wrong. That's all wrong. You're creating the number one sin in the business. Okay, you're allowing your excitement to go away. April talked about it in the beginning. You're allowing your excitement to go away and wear off while you're figuring it out, while you're educating yourself. See, there's no need to wait to know more to get started. Okay, I was telling with this doctor that Dr. Glasser and Dr. Deckel did the three-way call with, was another physician up in Dartmouth, Massachusetts. And I've always joked about this, and I love doctors, and I have hundreds of doctors that are friends of mine, okay? But I kid with them. I said, it's one thing to be dealing with a physician, but it's a whole different category when they're Harvard or MIT educated physicians. Okay, it's just a different animal altogether. And I'm sure Rebecca heard this, okay, on that three-way call. But it's amazing, okay, what a third-party system can do. Because here's what I was able to do with that person. He came in the business, he came in as a platinum, and he spent the first 2 weeks telling me, okay, everything he wouldn't do. And I didn't argue. I chose not to argue. I said, I'm not going to argue with that. Great. Tell me everything you're not going to do. And then when your gun is empty, when you're out of bullets, you're going to ask me, what do I do next? And then I can give you a little advice. But I wasn't going to mess with that ecosystem. Okay, I had to let it just empty itself out. Okay, and then we would move forward. Okay, but what the point is this: you don't need to know, okay, everything about it before you start talking to people, because I shared this with him. I said, he asked me, what do I say to my colleagues and my friends and my relatives about this business? I said, well, that's easy. They know you're successful. They know you do well in your practice. They know you're Harvard educated. They know you didn't need an opportunity. They know all that, okay? So just tell them the truth. I wasn't looking. I had no idea what this was. It fell in my lap. And when I did my due diligence, the obvious answer is, why wouldn't I do this? Okay, be honest. I wasn't looking. It fell in my lap. So I checked it out, and everything I saw was validated. Why wouldn't I do it? See, that's what happens when you get a third party involved. They can help you, and they have a rapport with that person, okay? It duplicates a proven success system. Hey, look, some people have more people skills than others, okay? Some have been in the people business their whole lives, and some have to work at getting better at it, okay? April and I had to work at it. We've been in this industry half our lives, and we had to learn, okay, how to work with people and deal with people. But this third-party validation, this is part of the success system, okay? So here's the gist, and I'm going to go to the next category, okay? If you're getting people started, okay, and they're struggling a little bit, go back to what you did and see if a third party was involved, okay? And I want to share this with you. the best closer I've ever met, the best recruiter I've ever met, okay, on this topic is Dr. Decker, okay? By far, okay, he used Dr. Glasser and then myself, okay, he went for two others, okay, so that he could get business closed. But here's what he does. Most of the time he doesn't need any help, but he always calls me with the person, always. And most of the time he'll call me on a Saturday night or Sunday after church, most of the time, or if it's during the week, it's 10 o'clock or later at night. Why is he doing that? He's proving to the person that is already joined that what he has told them is true, and someone will always answer the phone if they need help. And he does it all the time. And I know that he's doing it, especially when the phone's ringing at 10 at night on a Saturday or on a Sunday. I'm expecting another person to be on the phone with him. See, he does it even after they're in the business just to validate the system, okay? Now, the next topic, okay? I've had to address this a few times in the last few weeks, and what I'm going to talk to you about is, when is a new distributor actually in the business for real? Okay, well, when are they in? Now, most people will say this, well, they're in when they place their order. You know, they order their silver, gold, or platinum pack, or do the $50, distributor kit and pick out, some products, that's when they're in. Okay. Or maybe some folks will say, when they get their products, okay, when the box arrives, when their platinum pack or their gold package arrives, they're in. They got their products, they're in. Or some will say, well, I think it's when they go to their first big meeting, one of the elite academies, the first big company event, something big. Maybe they traveled or got on a plane and went and had to stay overnight a few nights or something. Some people will say that. Honestly, none of that's true. Okay, none of that's true. If you're talking from a physical standpoint, a physicality standpoint, yeah, when they click the button and pay for their package, they're in. When the FedEx guy shows up at the door and leaves their products, yeah, they got their products, okay? When they attend an event, they attend an event. Those are all good things, okay? And they all need to happen, but they're not in. Okay, what do I mean in? Their heart and their head is not in yet. Okay, they're not in. So what do we do? Okay, when is a new distributor actually in the business? I'm going to give you some obvious signs, because here's what you want to avoid doing. You want to avoid scaring off a new distributor. That's what you want to do, okay? So how do you know when they're really in? Well, here's a good one. When they're calling you and texting you more than you're calling them. In other words, they are beginning to make themselves a bit of a pain in the butt to you. That is a good thing. That means that they're in, okay? That means that you're past the signing them up, you're past the product arriving. See, if you're always badgering them, if you're the one always texting, always emailing, always calling, always having to remind, always, if that's coming from you, okay, well, they ain't in yet, okay? They may participate a little bit, but I'm talking about they ain't really in yet, okay? See, when they start asking you, how do I do this? Okay, what do I do next? Tell me the order in which I should do things. I'm a sponge. Give me directions, okay? When they start asking, how do I do? What do I do next? When they're the ones doing that, and it's not you telling them, but them telling you, they're in, okay? That's different, okay? I always say this when a new person gets involved. I always say, okay, I'd like to establish guidelines. See, my guidelines in the business are anything goes. I have no rules. okay? But I need to know what the rules are with you. And they'll say, what do you mean anything goes, no rules? I don't care when you call. I don't care when you text. I don't care when you reach out. I'll answer the phone if I'm not sleeping or I'm not on with somebody else. Anything goes. I have no rules. What are the rules with you? Okay, I do that all the time. I want to know where I am with people. Okay, I want to know where I stand with people. I want to know what I can do in the early stages of the relationship. Okay, I want to know what the guidelines are. Now, let's face it, okay, we're being real and honest here. I know there's guests listening today. I know there's new distributors listening, and I know there's some veteran distributors listening. And let's be honest, okay, most distributors, if we're an 80-20 company, and 80% of our business, the 250 or 260 million, whatever it is we're doing annually in sales, if 80% of that business is a monthly subscription business to customers, okay, then let's be honest, most distributors are just kind of a glorified customer that has a title of being a distributor. That doesn't mean they're a distributor, folks. Okay, maybe they just became a distributor to get a little bigger discount on that initial package. Okay, so here's what we got to be careful with, that we don't chase them away prematurely. Okay, see, just because somebody signed up don't mean they're like you, or they're like, you know, Rebecca or Gabe or April or myself. It doesn't mean they're like us, and it doesn't mean that they're going to pursue it the way we pursue it. So you got to be professional with them. Okay, you have to do your part. We always have to do our part. Okay, we have to be professional. We have to follow up. We have to reach out. But we also have to be aware not to become a pain in the butt to them. Because if we do, they will never introduce us to anybody. And even when their situation changes, everybody's situation changes. Maybe they got involved when everything was good in their life and they're using the product and they love the product. And now things are maybe not as good as they were, or not as secure as they were. Don't you want them reaching out to you and saying, hey, I'm ready to do more with this. Hey, I got some friends that I want to introduce you to that I think would be good with this. I got some people I want to share this product and business with. Could you give me a little bit of a refresher? I'm ready to get more active. But see, if we wore out our welcome, if we drove them crazy, if we became a pain in the butt to them, we're never going to get that phone call, because they don't want us to do that to their friends. They don't want us to embarrass them, because they were really only a customer who liked the product, but we were treating them like they were a distributor like us. See, I don't have any rules with Gabe. Gabe's made it real clear, anything goes. Whatever we need, okay, whenever, call him. Okay, we're on the exact same page, no rules. Well, I can't treat a new distributor like that. They're not there yet. But that new distributor's time may come 6 months from now or 9 months from now. And I want them to call me and say, Bobby, you know, that stuff you were saying when I first signed up as a distributor, I'm really interested in pursuing more of that. Can we get together again and maybe, you know, visit or revisit kind of launching this thing? The timing's better for me now. But if I spent that 6 or 9 months, if I spent that time and I was making them nuts, I was trying to make, you know, our old mentor used to say, I was trying to make a racehorse out of a plow mule, okay, before their time. You know what? That call doesn't come, and that's a shame, because that person could be a Rebecca Glasser. That person could be a Gabe. That person could be a Deb Zito. That person could be a Sean McKee or a Moshe Deckel or an April Wagner. See, we don't know, and we will never know, because we'll never know. So I wanted to discuss those two things, Gabe. I'm getting ready to bring you back on if you want to turn your video back on. But, you know, it was two topics that I had a number of conversations about in the last couple of weeks, including last Saturday when we were up in a great meeting that Deb Zito and Abby Drury hosted up in Brunswick, Georgia. So anyway, Gabe.